All right, let's cut to it. If you're thinking about listing your property and you're stuck between Airbnb and VRBO, I have been there. I've used both, I've learned a few things the hard way, and I want to share the real world differences that matter. Not the corporate sales pitch, but how the stuff actually plays out when it is your name on the listing. So let's break it down quick and clean. Airbnb is like dating app of short-term rentals. It's fast, busy, and there is someone for everyone. Solo travelers, couples, business folks, backpackers, and you will see it all. VRBO, on the other hand, is like a family reunion. Whole homes only. It is built for groups, families, longer stays, less hustle, and fewer surprises. So if your place is quirky, urban, or good for weekend city trips, Airbnb is your friend. But if it is a classic vacation spot like a beach house or a mountain cabin, VRBO guests are more likely to book longer and treat it like it's their own. Now let's do the money talk. Fees hit different depending on which model you choose. Airbnb has two ways. First one is the split fee, where you pay 3% and your guest sees a 14% service charge at checkout. And that sticker shock can kill bookings. And the second option Airbnb has is the host-only fee. Around 15% comes out of your pocket, but the guest sees a clean price. This one is used more by property managers. VRBO has two options too. First one is pay per booking, about 8% total per reservation, or the annual subscription plan, which is $699 upfront, and they are phasing this out slowly. So if you're pulling over $9K a year, that used to be a solid deal, but it may not be available anymore if you're just signing up. The bottom line in terms of fee, Airbnb feels cheaper until guests check out and they ghost. VRBO takes more off the top unless you're high volume. Now let's talk about protection and risk. Airbnb gives you air cover, which is $3 million for damage and $1 million for liability. It also covers lost income if a booking is cancelled because someone trashed your place. It's free, it works, but it is not perfect. And they still recommend you carry your own short-term rental insurance. VRBO, you get $1 million in liability, but there is no damage protection. If the guest smashes your TV, that's on you, unless you have taken a deposit or bought a separate insurance. So Airbnb has your back on damage. VRBO says, good luck. Now, cancellations. Airbnb is strict. If you cancel on a guest, expect a fine, a blocked calendar, maybe even losing superhost status. And that said, guests cancel all the time, and Airbnb might override your policy to give them a refund sometimes. VRBO is more consistent. Your cancellation policy is your policy. They back you up, but screw around too much and your listing tanks in search or gets suspended. For damage claims, Airbnb has a process through the resolution center, but it is more negotiation than enforcement. VRBO, you charge the guest card directly, but screw that up and they might boot your listing. In terms of bookings, photos matter. Airbnb, show the lifestyle, talk about local spots, make it emotional. VRBO, focus on layout. Bedroom, bathrooms, how families use the space. They love seeing 25 plus pics. Airbnb gives you badges, superhost, guest favorite, and all that. It helps your listing pop. VRBO has one premier host, but it is not as loud. But still, they both reward good behavior, fast responses, no cancellation, great reviews, and you will start receiving badges from both. And if you want the secret sauce, list on both, but only if you use a channel manager like Hospitable. Otherwise, you will double book yourself into a meltdown. Now, user experience. Airbnb's app is slick, it's quick, instant book fills gap fast, especially for last-minute guests. And the downside, less control over who stays. You will get the occasional party crew or guest who didn't read your rules, or they just didn't care. VRBO is slower, more back and forth before they book. It takes more time, but I've found it filters out the headaches. Families ask questions, they plan, they read, and they usually clean up after themselves. So support-wise, Airbnb is hit or miss, sometimes great, sometimes cricket. VRBO, easier to reach, and they don't always assume the guest is right, which is kind of refreshing nowadays. So, what is better? If you're running a city apartment with fast turnover, Airbnb is your tool. If you've got a beach house or a cabin that sleeps 8, VRBO is a better bet. But me, I use both. Airbnb brings volume, VRBO brings quality. With the right tools to manage the madness, I get more eyes, more bookings, and fewer holes in the calendar. You've got to think like a business, where your property is, what it attracts, what kind of guest you want walking through your door. That's the game. If this video helped you sort through the noise, drop a comment. Tell me where your property is and what platform you're leaning towards. Or if you're already in both, let me know what is working. And if you want more no-nonsense tip for short-term rentals, hit that follow, no fluff, just that works. Catch you in the next one.